Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cocktails and Rocktails with me, your most notorious groupie, Alice Mouse, author of this little guy right here. These little books as well, where you can get that down in that description down in my link tree. So use your fingers, fiddle about, have a little foreplay, and come my way. I like to come a lot of ways. But anyway, thank you guys for always being so amazing, so awesome, especially for having so much patience with me over the past few weeks, because it has been just a really big roller coaster for me. Medically wise, not being able to sleep, like literally 3 days without maybe an hour of sleep a night. So it's been really hard, and it just really, the family that we have here, the support that you guys give, it's so truly amazing. I just can't even begin to tell you how much every single one of you mean to me here. And welcome to all the new people we're getting. Let us know down in the comments how you found the channel, because I love hearing how people came my way. Tell me about yourself. I love to meet new people, and it's one of my favorite things about this whole channel. I'm so lucky to have such an amazing family here, and it's growing every day. Thank you guys so much, truly, from the bottom of my heart. And speaking of the bottom of my heart, you know what my heart's all full of? It was full of rock stars. We have a few. And today we're going to have a little subject to talk about the easiest rockers to get, especially in the 80s. Because everybody thinks it's the groupies that are like shooting fish in a barrel. Oh, hell no. The groupies, the rock world is, in the 80s, was a groupie's fucking playground. It was our candy store, and they were merely morsels of deliciousness. So, we're going to talk about which ones are the best ones, the easiest ones to get out of that little candy dish. And because we're going a little sweet today, we're doing our locals. Now, they have a brew house in Denver and here in Salt Lake City. These guys, epic. They're fucking amazing. Their Big Bad Baptist Stout is an amazing base for a lot of different flavors that they've created. And stout is not just what they got, but the stouts that they create. This is a one time a year. You're not going to see this one again. Just so fucking good, and I haven't tried it. I'm so excited to do this with you guys today. So I'm so excited to do a lot of stuff today. But all right, you guys, everybody, come and join me. Kick up your feet, grab your cocktails, and let's have a little cocktails and a rocktails. Oh yeah, hear that guzzle? You'll never hear me guzzling Kip Winger, will ya? Nope. All right, everybody. Cheers, big ears. Oh, that's good. That's good. It's not too overwhelming on the cinnamon. Oh, it's whiskey barrel aged. Oh, I didn't even see that. That's why it got that extra kick for me, because y'all know I'm a bitch for a bourbon soak. So, but yeah, this whiskey barrel aged cinnamon. That cinnamon has that nice little aftertaste on it, really adding to the kind of cocoa nibs that they use in their stouts. Like I said, you guys see Epic, Big Bad Baptist. Try any of the stouts that they have. Their Spiral Jetty is really delicious. Awesome. Love these guys. Some of the coolest guys in the brew business here. And speaking of some of the coolest guys, rock stars are pretty cool, right? Right? I think so. I think we all think so. And, they're kind of fun to have. So today we are going to kind of go through, and you can see me looking down at my little list. We're going to go through the easiest rockers to get back in the 80s. Some of them are current. And we're going to start with the current one. Let's talk about the easiest rock star to get right now, today, if he's coming in your town. A couple ladies are waiting for him to come through their town. Jerry Cantrell. But we all know if he turns in squats, just kidney punch, jump and run. Don't let him squat on you, ladies. Don't let him squat. If you don't know what that means, go find that video. Ladies, let him know down in the comments. Let him know. But Jerry Cantrell, because Jerry still is from that, 80s, 90s rock and roll lifestyle. I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, grunge, they didn't do groupies, they defied it. No, the fuck they didn't. They did Eddie Vedder and a few other ones from the 90s. Lived up in Seattle in the 90s when at the height of grunge. And hell yeah, they've got a lot of groupies. They were called ghosts back then. They were haunted. That's what we call, this is my haunt. She haunts me, meaning we share beds sometimes, and I get off and I don't poop on her and I leave. So, yeah, Jerry Cantrell still kind of in that frame of mind, still single, still, very, very loin driven. He's like, he listens to his loins a lot more than his brains. So ladies who are after Jerry Cantrell, get to that fucking hotel bar and go get him. Lickety split. Gonna be easy peasy. He does tend to like dark haired women, so if you're dark haired, that's plus, but he does love blondes too. I've seen him with a bunch of different women. You know, Lollapalooza. He loved my friend Marie, who is absolutely gorgeous. He's Hispanic and indigenous American mix, so just absolutely gorgeous, right? So yeah, number one rock star that is easy to get today, still first and foremost, Jerry fucking Cantrell. Just don't let him squat over you. Like I said, if he does, kidney punch him. And I don't mean that to be violent. Nobody, I'm not promoting violence. I'm just saying protect yourself. All right. Number two, and like I said, we're gonna go kind of back to the 80s. 81 from Poison. Because especially back in the 80s, you know, groupies defined what helped make metal bands, right? They were all part of the rock and roll lore, the whole myth, the everything about it, you know? And 81 from Poison, especially because we all know how I got, you know, some rock stars are as easy as ordering room service. And Bret Michaels was one of them because pretty much a phone call, check done, right? My friend Richie called him. He was on my menu that night and I ordered him up pretty much. So ladies, never think that it's always the rock stars coming that are like hard to get. None of them are hard to get. But, so yeah, 81 from Poison, and especially that CC DeVille, because his voice is so annoying. Ellefson, give me an egg roll. Ellefson, order me an egg roll. I need an egg roll. I'm so hungry. Yeah, fucking bite my ass, and then maybe you fill something up. But can you imagine that when he's on top of you, or you're on top of him, and he's having the big oh yeah. He's fucking no. He's sounding like Fran Drescher's older brother, or sister even. Kind of like that nanny, your Auntie Valerie. No, I don't think it. Oh, I'm coming. No, you're not, dude. Not on me, you're not. No. Even Bobby Doll, who's known to be a little more selective than the rest of the guys, even Bobby Doll's easy to get. So anyone from Poison, especially these days because they're kind of not the big. I know they go on big rock tours and stuff, but they're just not who they used to be in the 80s. You know what I mean? So kind of a leftover band. All right, let me see. Let me look at my list. We're going to go with someone out of Bon Jovi because, you know, Bon Jovi, big band, especially in the 80s. There is no way, no how that everybody in that band was not getting laid, right? But the one who was kind of getting the leftovers of the band was definitely Alec John Such. He definitely... You know, he kind of, because he was a little smaller, so he needed a more petite woman, you know. I'm 5'6", and I was probably too big for him, and it's when I was wearing a perfect size 4 to 6, you know, that's my size, but yeah, so Alec John Such, like, and his hair, that little soul patch, like, what the fuck was that, dude? And he does not, like, exude sex, or even when he's on stage, it's just like, he's just kind of happy to be there. He's not really getting into it. If there's just nothing like really overtly sexually about Alec John Such. So whenever a woman approaches him, like my friend Charlie Ann, well, she kind of approached him under the table. If you know, you know, you guys go look for the Bon Jovi poker game videos because it's all in there. But yeah, she was talking about how she wanted to roll other people under the table. And she was talking to Tico, and Danny's like, hell no, I'm with him right now. She was like, hey, Richie said, he's like, oh no, hell no, I'm with her right now. And Alec John Such is kind of following her around like a little sad dog going, oh, this me, pick me. He's the ultimate pick me girl of the fucking Bon Jovi, right? He needs to. And she picked him. And other random man sticks that she grabbed under the table. Interesting. You know, so Alec John Such, definitely the pick-me girl of Bon Hosme, right? So, because like I said, I mean, he wasn't that, like he's not that he wasn't a good-looking guy, because to each their own, everybody has something else, something that turns them on, right? But when you watch him on stage, when you're watching him, you know, just kind of down, he's just like, kind of like the sad puppy dog who we just found on the side of the road that we don't know if we're going to keep or not. And a lot of times we make sure he finds a safe home. So he'll find a safe home with someone else. Okay. And the one, because this is actually someone who is really more of a groupie's groupie. Rock stars are the groupie's groupie, right? So, and a lot of bands used to trade information. Oh, you're going to Salt Lake City, these are the girls to meet. You're going to Chicago, these are the girls to meet. Going to Texas, there's Desiree, or Diana, depending on where she was. Because she traveled a lot of places. She was like me. But this guy, definitely a groupie connoisseur, definitely likes to take pictures of women on toilets, especially in Salt Lake City. There was this sizable maid who he had quite a few Polaroids of. He has stacks and stacks of these. Used to. I don't know if he still has them, but definitely one of the easiest rock stars to get, and it's simply Gene Simmons. And he's easy because he needed groupies to validate his existence. He needed to marry a Playboy bunny to validate his rock star status. He's not addicted to drugs or alcohol, of course, so he's kind of more defined by the groupies. There was the SEX tapes that came out a while ago that looked like, okay, are we watching paint dry, Gene? Like, seriously. So basic. So basic. I mean, I met him and he gave me his room key within a minute of introducing himself to me. Says, I'm staying under Dr. Demento. Come up to my room, sweetheart. Here's my room key. Doesn't get easier than that. I barely said, 3 different sentences to him. I said, my name's Ellefson, and who said I was trying to get away? Ha ha ha. And it's like he always acted like it was a privilege. And I'm like, nah, dude, no, not the privilege you think it is. No, no. But Gene Simmons, definitely one of the easiest ones to get because, again, he needs to do that for his validate. He needs to validate himself as the rock star, as everything that he's, been portrayed as in the press. Yeah, he needs to ensure that it is 100% true. And he doesn't care if women talk because, again, it validates him. Okay, let's keep going. Let's move on from Gene Simmons like I did 5 minutes later with Eric Carr. Okay, next one up, another 70s rock god. He just went to rehab for sex addiction. Now, if there's an addiction, ladies, you should always never take advantage of people. That is not right. But, I mean, like this guy, like Steven Tyler, there was that addiction. He also just was able to enjoy it. He comes from an era where groupies were rock stars' necessary indulgence. They were there to glorify, solidify who these rock stars were because it makes them feel like every woman in the world wants you and validates these guys, right? Just like it would any guy who has women chasing all over after him. So Steven Tyler, for sure. All you need is a hoo-ha and good timing. Find him at that hotel, not the bar necessarily, but he never really did quit drinking. But anyway, find him when he's walking across the hotel lobby, bend over, and he forgets his name. Oh, wait, no, that's Gene Simmons. Strata. Or no, is that Domino? Domino. Okay, so yeah, Steven Tyler, definitely even now, I think he's probably one of the easier rock stars to get. He may be a little harder because he doesn't want to fall off the wagon as far as his addictions go. But at the same time, nothing wrong with a little action once in a while. If he could still use it, just cover his toes because we don't want to look at Aunt Mark's toes. No. But definitely Steven Tyler. Okay, next. Well, this is pretty much any rocker with an English accent, especially in the 70s and 80s, because they absolutely adore American women. American women can be more bold, more open to things, more brazen, more relaxed about the rock and roll lifestyle, and probably easier to get in bed than some of the English chicks. So, especially in the 80s, pretty much any rock star with an English accent. I think we all betted them. We all did. Whether it was, I was going to say Europe, but they are not English. Whether it was like Def Leppard or Judas Priest or whoever that came out for Duran Duran, In the 80s, if any rock star had an English accent, you could play your little American groupie girl game and be like, Start playing the Pied Piper, lead them to your sin. But yeah, and I think out of the 80s rockers that were the most, of the English ones that were the easiest to get, definitely Glenn Tipton. Because again, he gets a little lonely on the road. He needs it to, again, it's just part of his lifestyle. It's what he kind of expects in different towns. He had more women on the road than I think his drummer did, Scott. So that's kind of, and Joe Elliott. But just because Joe Elliott was fun and game and he was hot. So, and he was just like, yeah, okay, cool beans. He has different tastes, like what turns him on is laughter or like someone being funny with him or like holding a good conversation. So if you had that, bam, 5 minutes you were upstairs and underneath Joe Elliott. And why not? I chose Rick Savage, but that's okay. All right. Now we're going to go in the obvious direction. Because let's face it, ladies. 80s ladies, you can tell me down in the comments if I'm wrong or if I'm right about this. Just about every 80s ladies had him. If you didn't, one of your friends did. And that is David Lee Roth. David Lee Roth was like, not that he was like, oh, he'll just sleep with anybody. Well, a hole is a hole is a hole, but a soul is a soul. That was his old saying. So, and he was kind of, he was the initiation. Like everybody thinks that David Lee Roth back then was bragging rights. Oh no, he was the initiator. If you were just starting your groupie career and you had David Lee Roth, you were solidified. He initiated you into the sorority of groupiedom. Definitely not bragging rights, the initiator. But yeah, David Lee Roth, he was so easy to get in bed. All you needed was a nice ass, great pair of legs that you could wrap around his fucking neck. And at least I did. And a good sense of humor. I mean, I don't know what he saw me the first night we met because I was super fake ID'd up. But yeah, David Lee Roth definitely, and I think he would probably still be easy to get. Oh, I'm not going to say that out loud, but I know something that I'm not going to say out loud. May or may not be easy to get these days. But would you want to these days? That would be like your creepy uncle in the members only jacket who nobody lets sit at the kid table at Thanksgiving. So still I think he would be an easy guy to get into bed. Like I said, some of these guys, they just need it to, it's out of habit because it's what they've done for so long. They needed to validate themselves. They needed to support their rock and roll lifestyle because it is part of who they are. So definitely David Lee Roth, ladies. If you had him in the 80s, tell me in the comments. We'll swap notes. But yeah, David Lee Roth, absolutely 100% easy. If you were a groupie in the 80s and you didn't have him because you were with Eddie Van Halen, your friend was with him. Or your friend was with Mike or Alex Van Halen, because I heard he was huge. Alex, you single? Just want to look. Maybe that's, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, all right. And moving on. So the next one is one a lot of people would not, what a lot of people would think I would not mention. That's Rudolf Schenker. Now, he's more of a groupie connoisseur. Like, he's going to find the finest lady in that town that night. And he is going to seduce her and wine her and dine her. Like, he likes the process of the game, of the whining, the seduction, the whole 9 yards. So he definitely has a very more sophisticated way about, his approach to groupies. But again, he's looking for it. He likes it. When he didn't have his wife on tour, he would enjoy sporting a lovely groupie on his arm. And like I said, adoring her, whining and dining her, seducing her. So Rudolf Schenker, I'm going to tell you how much he loves groupies. My friend Christina that was with him, she farted right in his face while he was down on her. He did not flinch. Nope. No. Groupie connoisseurs don't, because they know that shit happens. Kind of like Jerry Cantrell. Anyway, so it was more of an air thing with Christina. But yeah, so that's a shocker that a lot of people don't. And he was one of the ones out of the band that got most of the women, was Rudolf Schenker. So definitely he was one of the easy guys to get back in the 80s. I mean, I think Christina said two words to him, "You're hot." And he was like, you're mine. And I was like, oh, that was easy. 4 words exchanged. He's going down on her. She's giving him some mouth to mouth, or I wouldn't know what to call farting in someone's face when they're down on you. If you do, tell me in the comments. Okay, another one. We're going to throw this oddball in. And this is a woman. This is Joan Jett. Now, Joan Jett, because she does like a lot of different flavors, a lot of different ways, and to each their own, but she definitely is more of a sexual being, a sexual creature who loves the seduction, who is cheeky about, yeah, I got you. Just like she did Carmen Electra, right? So she's kind of more like it's a part of her nature. It's part of that build up to, she likes it. She has fun. She likes to drag what am I trying to say? She likes, it's the seduction, but there's another word I'm thinking of. It'll come to me. But yeah, Joan Jett, definitely, I think, especially the 80s, 70s, she was definitely pretty easy to get. I think now she might be open to a little groupie action on the road. So if you're into it, go find her. Is she on tour? But yeah, so that's when we don't really, I kind of threw in there because I was like, yeah, she's just naturally very sexy, a very sexual being, a very seductress. She's just naturally like a Philotes. And if you don't know who Philotes is, she's the goddess of like friendship, love, sexuality, connection, which I call the goddess of the groupies. And Joan Jett definitely has that Philotes in her. But all right, another one from the 80s, ladies. He was fine in the 80s. Ran into him while in Seattle while I was going over to Nikki Sixx's hotel because they were opening up for Motley Crue. And we were walking by Razzmatazz, and this lead singer's foster mom happened to own it at the time. And as Danny and I were walking by Razzmatazz to go to Motley Crue's hotel, this Cadillac window rolls down and says, "Hey, ladies." And we look, and there was Tammy Down and the other guys from Faster Pussycat. So Tammy Down, I think Tammy Down is easy peasy to get. I think that he would like the attention, that it would actually make him relive his glory days from the Sunset Strip in the 80s and being that hot blonde lead singer. Definitely had a good time with the Miss Snowball Queen convention up in Seattle that was at the Motley Crue's hotel. I'll let you guys figure out what the Snowball Queen competition is. And it's nothing to do with porn or anything like that. But yeah, Tammy Down, and especially now, because like I said, I think it would bring him back to his glory days. And definitely, he's one of those bands that would definitely trade today for yesterday because they were opening in arenas, they were traveling the world, they were just hand over fist cash and groupies lining up for him, Sunset Strip, LA boys, they could pocket those groupies like no tomorrow. And they did, because it was part of the lifestyle, it was part of the culture, it was part of the bragging rights. So definitely, ladies, if you're into Faster Pussycat, get Tammy Down. He's waiting. Tell me how big it is, though. I always wondered that. I always wondered, is it more of a mushroom or is it more of a battering ram? I don't know. Tell me, ladies, who's had Tammy? Talk to me. Okay, this is one that this is just kind of a joke one. Any rock star you meet at a Diddy party. I'm going to leave that one right the fuck there. All right, next one, and I think this is kind of... I've told this story about this rock star and a couple other the band members and their tour manager chasing, Danny and I through the mall in Salt Lake City after I had quit seeing their lead singer because he got married. So this guy chased me down. He's like, "Hi, do you remember me? Do you remember me?" This is Dave Ellefson. And one of the reasons Dave Ellefson is so easy to get, and I mean, you don't believe me? Just ask the chick that intentionally, because I talked to this little girl when all this was happening, that intentionally seduced him and got him to enjoy himself on screen and then showed it to the rest of the world. She did that on purpose, you fucking little trollop. Anyway, so yeah, Dave Ellefson, because he definitely has a chip on his shoulder about Dave Mustaine, because when we look at Megadeth, especially back in the 80s, who are we looking at? We are all looking at Dave Mustaine. We're like, "You's a pretty ginger, honey. Must have you on top of me." Or on me on top of you or whatever. Upside down tour bus trick. But definitely Dave Ellefson, easy to get. Maybe not so much anymore because I think I'd hope he'd be a little more cautious after all that. But definitely easy to get, especially in the 80s because he had to prove that he was just as great as Dave Mustaine was. He was just as Dave Mustaine. Dave Mustaine would not be conned into doing anything on screen, especially when the other partner is not doing anything on screen or showing up on screen. So, Dave Ellefson, we hope you've learned your lesson and become a little harder to get. All right. And that's pretty much any rock star to prove. If they have something to prove, if they have a chip on their shoulders, ladies, get those heels on, put on that lip gloss, and you get your ass down, and you get who you want to get. So I'm serious. I'm not saying take advantage of people, but take advantage of the situation. That came out wrong. Among consenting adults. Let's say among consenting adults. Take advantage of the situation because a lot of women are like, no, you can't get that rock star. These guys are off the table. No, they weren't. I had Mick Jagger on a table on a bed on the floor up against the wall and in the shower. Jimmy Page and a few others, obviously John Entwistle from The Who for 13 years. Never, ever, ever let anybody tell you that there are rock stars who are unobtainable. Every rock star's obtainable. And you know why? Because they're standing in front of a mirror doing the Pete Townsend windmill or, pretending they're Robert Plant with the dove on stage and packed full of pants or, you know what I'm saying. Ladies, we all know the picture of Robert Plant in the pants. But so, God, I forget what I was saying. But yeah, never let anybody tell you that rock stars are unattainable. They all dream about the groupies when they're dreaming about being the rock stars. Just go make their fantasies come true while yours are too. That's what I'm saying. Not take advantage of people because we don't take advantage of people. So yeah, go get them, ladies. All right. And another one, and this is more than one, all from the same band. Okay, Tommy Skeoch, Frank Hannon, and that guy Brian from Tesla, because we all know that night when I was with Rick Savage, I saw those two guys in Tesla, and I did what I call a groupie drive-by. And I was like, I would fuck you both, or I would zug you both. I think I used the word zug, which I thought was really cool at the time. Oh, God. And they were like, zug. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I would love to fuck you both. 20 minutes later, I was out on their tour bus smoking weed, throwing up, brushing my teeth with Frank's toothbrush after I took it from behind from both of them. I was curious about threesomes, and I'm not talking about two women, okay? Because gentlemen, ladies, come on, let's tell it. Let's tell the guys. We can have two guys at once, too. I just did. And then I went upstairs and made Rick Savage shower with me and stayed the night with him because I was already with him. So, yeah. Tommy Skeoch, Frank Hannon, and Brian, y'all were so fucking easy to get. Like, I didn't even need to cast a reel into that barrel. I just looked down and you guys were jumping into the net. So, Tommy's not with them anymore. So I think that they still might be easy to get. All right, we're going to be wrapping it up here. Now, any band that is playing a club, because here's what it is. If a band is playing a small club, a smaller venue, either they're just starting out their rock and roll lifestyle, they're just starting out their rock and roll fantasy, and they're wanting to experience everything. Everything. The travel, the cities, the chaos, the work, the radio stations, the groupies, everything. So go out there, ladies. Any band that's in a small club, you go out there and you introduce them to the rock world with some nice groupie love. Don't be afraid. It's easier to get to the bands. Those buses aren't surrounded by a bunch of gates or anything like that. They're usually a lot easier to get to and a lot more eager to hang out because they're all new to this. And we just had our first groupies on the bus. Oh my God, I just banged my first groupie. Oh, I fell in love with my first groupie. And I'm going to see her next time I'm in town. I'm going to text her tomorrow. So, and on the opposite side of that, if they went from, a band that was playing arenas and stuff like that, and now they're back to small clubs, everybody's playing because we love the music. But there is kind of not a letdown, but oh, we were so big on this big stage, on this huge pedestal once, and now here we are in a small club type of thing. So, like I said, everybody's out there because we're loving the music. It's what everybody does. We're all part of this world. It's just how they make a living, and they're so happy to do it at no price, any price, whatever, because it is that important to the rock stars and the groupies. But so if they're were a bigger band and now they're back to playing small clubs, again, easier to get to physically because they're not surrounded by all the big, or like at the Delta Center downtown Salt Lake City, they're down in this giant pit, like that's 30, 40 feet down. So just playing it easier, just semantics wise, easier to get those bands in the smaller venues. Okay, so and we're gonna end up with this one. Even the guys in Metallica. I mean, even now, James Hetfield was so easy to get with his current girlfriend stealing it from his wife because they didn't start dating after. Just putting it out there. Anyway, so even the guys in Metallica back then were the easiest guys to get because they had tub tarts and they had the girls that they saw over and over again from different, states or cities or countries or whatever. They had groupies surrounding them at all times back then. And like I said, their lead singer was very easy to get away from his wife. That was the no-brainer. People who are insecure and who never really faced the things that traumatized them in their past usually are. But that's the way, ladies, we are not going to take advantage of people like that. If somebody's going through some shit, they're insecure, they're trying to figure out life after 25 years of marriage, 30 years with someone. Let things fall apart on their own. Then go get that man. Don't do it the way Adriana did it. Journalist, my ass. Anyway, but like I said, even back in the day, the guys in Metallica were so easy to get. They loved having their groupies around. They loved their tub tarts. They loved the attention. They loved the friendship that Danny and I had with them. They, just in every aspect, those guys enjoyed a groupie, whether it was a road wife groupie or a Backlounge Betty groupie or a Ramp Rat groupie or a Starfucker groupie. No, that's what James Hetfield enjoys now. He didn't like him then. But for some reason now, he changed his mind. But like I said, back then, Metallica, easy fucking peasy to get to. Easy peasy. Now, not so much because they're surrounded by a bunch of, hangers-on and stuff and security, and I just don't get who they are now. I'm so glad I was with Metallica that I knew because they were badass then. So, yeah, that's how we're rounding it off with. We're rounding off today's list with Metallica because they were, and ladies, Diana, we've heard a few stories about Metallica from a couple other groupies here. And we're going to hear some more. Because I got some more ladies coming. So, yeah. There you guys go. Those were the easiest rock stars to get in the 80s. Some of them still are, like Jerry Cantrell. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. I'm still dealing with, the sinuses. I still have to go find out whether I have to have surgery. So, it's just a mess up in my face right now. It's just a mess up in there. It's just a mess up. So yeah, so some of these guys, like I said, some of these guys are still going to be easy to get, like Gene Simmons. I definitely think 100% Gene Simmons still would enjoy a little groupie action. Absolutely 100%. Take Me Down, yeah, I think so. And anybody who's playing in Faster Pussycat right now. Definitely, like I said, if they're just starting out their rock star career, they want to enjoy every part that they envisioned in the mirror while they were, fantasizing about becoming that rock star. So, yeah, there you go. And tell me, ladies, other groupies from then and now, tell me who was the easiest rock star you got down in the comments, because I would love to hear the ones I'm missing. Because I just think it's funny because people think it's the groupies that are so easy. Like we have mattresses on our backs and we're just like, woohoo, got me. No, it's all of us. We're all easy peasy in the rock world. Especially in the 80s, because 80s was like hedonism and sex and drugs and rock and roll was okay. It was still, listen to the music that we were listening to. It was all very sexually charged and emotionally charged, but mostly sexually charged in the 80s. When the thrash bands came along, the music got a little more intelligent. But when you're thinking about the 80s metal, glam metal, butt rock, or whatever you want to call it, definitely 100% easy to get a rock star back then because every song was just talking about women and sex and drugs and rock and roll. And maybe we need some more music like that, ladies. Maybe you guys need to go out and recharge some of these bands. I will always encourage the ladies to get your asses to the hotel bar and bring back the laughter and the love and the fun in rock and roll on the road. So, all right, you guys, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you were having fun with me, because it really is just tongue in cheek, isn't it? But with a lot of truth mixed in. Because let's face it, Gene Simmons would offer up any woman if he's going to offer me up his room key in the first, I don't know, 2 minutes that I talk to him, then he's going to do it with someone else. If I'm going to do a groupie drive-by with the guys from Tesla, and they're 20 minutes later, we're on the bus going to town, literally. We're in Pound Town. That would be me. I'm Pound Town. Anyway, then easy peasy. But again, ladies who have been back there, tell me, and tell the rest of us down in the description who you think is easiest to get. And thank you to everybody who's made it to the end of the episode. As usual, I just am really excited that this channel is growing, and the family and everybody that we're meeting, and the continued conversation and friendships that we are all gaining with each other here. That is my most favorite thing that this channel has brought. I'm just so thankful for everybody here for just being so awesome. It's like going to concert in the old days. Nobody has their phones. Everybody's got their lighters, for their favorite rock ballads. Women are sitting on the guy's shoulders. Tits are being shown. Passes are being tossed out to the crowd. Women who weren't groupies 5 minutes ago are now begging the lead singer, and they're full-on groupie. So we need to bring some of that back to rock and roll now, ladies. But, all right, for those of you just kind of lurking, just kind of stumbling on the channel, you haven't joined us yet, join the family. Everybody's so cool here. Everybody's incredibly welcoming, incredibly kind, incredibly cool. We have so much fun here. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit my bells, and we will see you next time on the Cockatails and Rockatails. Cheers, my dears.